And we are live. Sketch Zone Podcast is on the air. I am Carlos Gomez, and we have with us this week, coming fresh out of the NYCC, New York City Comic Con. We have a young man that we're gonna talk to him about his artwork because it's really, really cool. It's very unique. That, my friends. Ooh, hang on. I forgot Jack is not here this week.
I'm good, buddy. Let's go.
Oh, I got it. This week, my friends, we're talking to Nate. Yep, that's my real name. Bear.
Hey.
Yeah, so we get to talk to you all night long about all your grooviness.
That's when you need the all night long, all night.
But before we get into that, let's welcome Charlie B. Williams III.
What's up, Sketch Zone Nation? I can't
Special.
You know what? But there's a hole in my heart.
Why is there a hole in your heart?
Well, our buddy's not here.
Ah, yes. One Jack Kasperzak. He's a little bit under the weather.
Yeah, I think he's got a little flu-like symptoms. He's gonna have to kick, which has to suck for you guys out there in California. And I mentioned this on our little chat. I mentioned this on our chat today because we tend to talk all week to these fools while I'm at work. They're always saying something crazy, and my Facebook comes up, and some kind of weird statement Carlos is making, which makes me laugh out loud. People look at me crazy at my desk. But I said, it has to suck to be sick, and you look outside your window, and it's beautiful outside.
How about it?
Like a flu type deal. Because in the Midwest, we have seasons, right?
Right.
And Carlos knows what seasons is like because he grew up in the Midwest, but Jack also, which is even more why everybody should send Jack a get well card. For your Inktober, you should send it to @sketchbookjack on his Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. A get well card for because all you guys are still drawing this week, so it would be nice to do that. Get on that because it sucks to be sick. Like, at least here I can get my little Campbell soup. You know, it's cold outside.
At least you have a reason to, yeah.
Right? What do you guys do?
But like you catch a cold or a flu and it's 82 outside.
Yeah. He said he was watching a movie or whatever, trying to get better. He looks outside, the sun's shining in his face. I'm like, it's like, bro. It's you can't get warm. It's not like I'm cool. I want to go upstairs, throw on a hoodie, bundle up, and sweat it out. You go outside, sit in the sun, right? Sunbathe, sweat it out. I don't know what you can do, because it's obviously it's fall time, so it's not. I don't feel like it's like summertime, even though he's 82 there or whatever. So get better, Jack. Get better.
Yeah. I don't the weather where he is compared to the weather where I am, it's pretty different.
You're north.
Their weather is a little better. Right now we're getting to the point where our fall weather is hitting. So leaves are falling. It's about to start raining for only God knows how long. But
for
that's
you,
as far
right?
that's as far as it goes, just rain. Like my winter coat is a hoodie. That's
so what is if you're living in the LA area, what do you get then?
You might get some rain, but it's like you wear like a long sleeve t-shirt.
T-shirt. Craziness.
Yeah. Nate, where are you?
I'm in Brooklyn. So
You're in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
solid fall right now.
yeah. So you guys get wonderful weather.
Yeah,
up
Nate
there.
can kick a cold no problem because he just has to bundle up, turn up the heat a little bit. You'll be good to go.
Yeah.
It's not shining in his face.
Whenever the super turns on the heat, we got like a space heater. That's the only thing going on right now. But like you have to call the zipper for like a week straight, and he has to call the management office, and they give him the okay to turn on the boiler.
Even though it's freezing in the morning.
Yeah, it's
You
like
guys
we're
have
literally wearing
50
coats
degrees.
inside. Dude, what's going on, man?
Yeah, you do know it's 40 degrees in the morning when I wake up. So let's go ahead and turn it on for the season.
Yeah, and then when they turn it on, it's like immediately 110 degrees inside the furnace.
Right.
Yeah, they'll leave the windows open.
So it is that season where it's uncomfortable when you're trying to use your heat. Because we turned our stuff on finally.
Mhm.
You know, and we're in a new house, so we're like, okay, cool, it works. I need to bleed the line because we have the water heat. You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
water boiler. So I was like, I guess I got to bleed it. Oh yeah, they didn't give me any of those tools for that. But it's getting warm. Okay, now it's too hot. Turn it off. Turn it off.
Yeah.
Open a window.
Yeah, ours is like, we have the switch, but it like controls the entire floor. So if I turned it off, it would be like everybody on our floor would
Come
die.
down knocking.
Do you guys, Nate? Do you guys have the radiators, or do you guys have the?
We got the little like on the bottom of the floor panels in a couple rooms.
Oh, okay.
In the bathroom, it's like an electric one, and then in the main room and the master bedroom, it's like this AC heater unit thing. But like you can turn on the fan, but the heat will just kind of seep through anyway.
Yeah.
Like you just put your hand over it, you're like, oh, that's hot. But
We have the radiator ones. Look at this. Old school stuff, Carlos. You know, like, check it out. Like this is in every room, right?
yeah. Like
And
Popeye
it just
cartoons.
radiates heat.
Yeah.
Like the water heat, cooled heat. Like I wasn't a big fan. We had it at mother-in-law's, and then I've grown to like it because it just, I don't know, the sound can put me to sleep too.
Oh yeah, the thing.
Dude, radiators give me flashbacks that are not even that cool. When I grew
Beat
up,
by one.
pretty close. Growing up, I used to get punished, and then my mom would make us kneel in the corner.
Oh god.
Well, when she put you in the corner where the radiator was, she didn't let you sit back on your heels. You had to be on your knees. And those radiators would make you be like sweating, like almost passing out. You'd lean a little too close. She would hear me tell that story. She would come at me.
So traumatic. Yeah, I'm scared for you now.
Yeah, dude. She used to put us, she didn't care. Radiator, no radiator. We'd be in the corner. The first corner she focused on. We were like, oh, man.
You probably see it like, yeah, perfect.
We
Sit
learned to
there.
break things on that side of the house because there was no radiators over there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was. Before we go too far,
Mhm.
during this show, if you have any questions for Nate Fair, Charlie B. Williams III, Carlos Gomez, or Sketch Zone, anyone, please use the Sketch Zone hotline at 1-408-SKETCH-8. That's 1-408-753-8248. For international callers, please use 011-408-753-8248. That's the long version. I was waiting for it to die down so I could stop.
Just keeps going.
And never, that's the disco version. That's the one that. Moving on. So that's the Sketch Zone hotline. Hey, one of the members of the Sketch Zone Nation, if you guys remember, he had a successful Kickstarter, and if you're watching on social media, Dave Atsy,
I like turtles.
sent me 2 totally tasty Art of Dave Atsy books.
Ooh.
Now, what's neat about this book, he's got a bunch of his artwork, and if you haven't seen his artwork, you should be ashamed of yourself. Don't tell him I said this, but it's really super cute and very well done. Yeah, so anyway, and you know what? I wanted to show you guys this. He actually has
What?
his top secret painting tutorials in here. So he goes step by step.
Ooh.
He's
That's
using
what I like.
Procreate for this. So he's showing the users how to paint. So if you guys want a free guide to becoming a professional artist, all you have to do is get the Totally Tasty Art of Dave Atsy book. And because you guys are listening to the Sketch Zone, we're going to give this one away for free because I have 2 of them and I only need 1. I can't barely read. Thank you, Charles.
You're welcome.
I can't barely read anyway, so 2 books is just kind of redundantly useless. So, hey, do this. Tag Dave Atsy, tag Sketch Zone, and or Coconut Justice, depending on where you are. Sketch Zone doesn't have Instagram, so there. But yeah, just make sure we have your attention. And next week, we're going to go ahead and give that book away next week. So we already have a bunch of people that have submitted or tagged us. So go ahead and do that. We're going to be more than happy to send you Totally Tasty. Now, what's going to be funny is
What's up?
we have a really big audience in Australia, so it's going to be funny because this book originated out there. So if I have to mail it back to Australia, maybe we'll.
That's awesome.
Maybe
Not
we'll.
bad.
If that happens, maybe we'll get Dave to send another one. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, Daddy got bills. So yeah, so that's tag Dave Atsy, ATZE,
I like turtles.
and Sketch Zone, and we'll be giving that away next week.
Sweet.
Nate, have you heard of Dave Atsy?
Yeah, 5 seconds ago.
There you go.
Here it is.
Thank you for being truthful. So Dave, Nate. Dave.
Yeah.
Dave.
There.
Nate is Dave's alter ego. So you look at, he's a pirate now. I like that.
Nice. You found them. Effects.
Arg. So Nate, you live in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Are you originally from Brooklyn?
Technically, yes, but only until I was like 1 year old. More, let's see, my progression was Brooklyn till I was 1, Staten Island till I was 6, New Jersey till 18, then back and forth between New York and now
Trying to figure out where you
I've been
fit.
in Brooklyn for like 7 years now. Yeah, I moved in with my now wife 7 years ago.
Nice. How was it growing up in New York?
I mean, I grew up mostly on Staten Island, so back then it was really suburban. I'm sure it's still pretty suburban.
Is that where the Long Island? No, that's Long Island. That's why they call her the Long Island Medium. I can remember. There's something about Staten Island that I wanted to joke around about, but don't know what it is. So there. So Staten Island.
Staten Island.
Did you just did like grade school and stuff there? High school?
Yeah, I think right up to about first grade, I think I was there.
Yeah.
So
Is that when did you start drawing and getting into being a creative?
probably forever. Like
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, I like it, like earliest memories. Basically just sitting there with a pencil and drawing things. I remember drawing like castle with a purple pen and writing the word "go" and "no" because that's what I could spell. And
Nice.
I remember drawing.
Easy words.
Yeah, one thing my mom always shows is that like we went to, was it a Van Gogh exhibit or something like that, and there was like a self-portrait of Van Gogh, and it had like a 1 year old or something like that. And maybe it was a little. I think it was actually later. We dated it to a little bit later, but I had drawn like a hat on Van Gogh,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "Whoa, you know how to draw hats onto people? You know what that is?" And that surprised her.
You know how to spell no.
Yeah.
Were your parents
Mm.
pretty supportive of your freedom?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was good at, and nobody told me not to. And my grandparents, let's see, my grandfather was like a painter and worked in like I don't know some of the printing industry, like he had all this printing equipment. But and then my grandmother on my mom's side also, she was always doing like art shows and like taking art classes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She kind of like accidentally invented this like abstract art using like copy paper back in the 60s or 70s, and she did that
Nice.
forever, and that's her like little claim to fame.
Mhm.
Nice. So what's your stance on using Excel to make artwork?
He just brought it back.
I don't know, graph art or something like that. Or is it
No,
is it
our
the
first,
tables themselves, or is it generate data that like puts pixels around, or
No, our first guest
First.
on Sketch Zone, she used Excel to create patterns. So her art style, one of the things that she does that became pretty popular is she'd create a maze in Excel and she'd print it out real big, but then she would actually paint it on different material. I think
Okay.
wood and like a bunch of really cool stuff. And then when she said that, it just kind of brought a screeching halt to the conversation. And yeah, and then it turned into a thing.
yeah, this is. I mean, my grandmother's thing was like she used to work like it was back when like Xerox's like actually required like a sheet of like toner paper that you had to like squish things into. I don't remember how it actually works, but it was like a really thin piece of paper, and she would throw the scraps onto like a pile, and then she realized it would like make this like folded tie-dye jagged edge pattern, and then she's kind of scale it up, and she'd get like big tarps and do the same thing with like paint and make all these look so it looked like these. I don't know. It definitely, I can't even describe it, but like these like lots of really random triangle shapes all over in black and white.
Cool.
Oh,
So
cool.
do you think that helped? Do you think that helped like influence you to get into the arts and stuff?
Possibly. I think it was just like one, just like one less barrier to the idea. But I don't know. My family was always supportive, and like was doing art I was always taking like weekend classes in grade school, and I went to like a regional high schools. That I had to like submit portfolio to and all that stuff. So it was kind of like I was always on that track as far as I can remember. Guidance counselor wanted me to do something with math, or I don't know. She's like, "You got good math grades." I'm like, "Yeah, but
Nobody want to do that. Nobody want to go there. Yeah.
But so far, so good.
And then you went to Jersey.
Yeah, that was in grade school and high school.
Yeah.
And
The first time I went to New Jersey was when I was coming home from the Army, and they did all my discharging stuff there. So it's not even fair because I was there real quick. Here, sign this, sign this, sign this. Here's your personal stuff. Get out of here.
yeah,
So it wasn't, and it was like we took a taxi straight to the airport so we wouldn't miss our flight. It was that fast. The second time I went to Jersey was for a wedding, and not gonna lie, it smelled like armpits.
there are parts. I mean, there's a lot of swamp areas, so that'll do it.
Really?
Yeah, Chuck, dude, I rolled the
never
window
been.
down in the cab. I took a good, and I rolled it right back up.
That's isolated areas, not most of it. I don't know. Most of it's
I
fine.
must have been in that area because, yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, this is interesting.
Yeah, and I think if you go up north, there's a lot of like factory waste and landfills and stuff like that. Like the town I grew up in was a fragrance factory that would, so like it just randomly smell like artificial cinnamon or something like every other day, and they spilled a bunch of crap in the creek. So then to make up for it, my middle school science program was really well funded. It's like this science lab was brought to you by chemical spills.
Now that we're on that topic, have you guys seen this candle? The scent is called New Mac Smell.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Oh,
How about
okay.
this?
I can almost imagine that now. Or
I
just,
think Steve Tarkovsky said he would buy one of these.
so is it like overheating plastic or what?
Right?
Yeah. It's the smell when you first open a Mac. I think is that plasticky smell, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just the plastic parts that haven't aired out. Yeah, like
or I mean, yeah, that. I'm trying to make the transition from that to when you go to take your car to get washed. They ask you, do you want it to smell like lemons, strawberry, or new car smell?
yeah.
I've smelled new cars. It never smells like whatever that is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
that new car smell. Yes.
that's because when the new cars have the premium new car smell.
There should be like
the OEM.
Technologically
it
advanced.
needs
new
more
car.
carpet smell to them or something.
So now the question.
Yeah, they engineer the car doors to sound like car doors when you slam them. Because they're like so much plastic and buffering now that they probably like if you slammed it normally, it probably just like sound like. But no, they like actually like put hollow spots in
They
there.
just have a proper door slamming MP3 play every time.
Yeah, basically.
So now the
Nice.
question is, you know how everyone's been talking about Apple coming out with their Apple Car?
Mhm.
When the Apple Car comes out, if allegedly they're working on it.
Yeah, if it ever comes out.
Let's say you put down you do your negotiations, you put down however much money you have to put down, you sit down and Siri says, welcome to your car, right? Is it going to smell like a new Mac smell or is it going to smell like a new car smell?
It's be like a new Mac car. It's like a hybrid. You're gonna smell like Mac and like fresh carpet. That's funny.
Siri, order me a can of new car Mac smell.
Or cereal drive you across town and you didn't want her to. I said the grocery store. Next thing you know, you're on your way to Virginia.
Yeah, it's like going to Grover North.
Grover, North Carolina. What grocery store, Siri?
Oh, while we're on that topic,
What's up?
how many people have gotten a new Samsung Note 7?
I
Those
don't
phones
believe
are hot. They're
Yeah.
just flying off the shelf.
Rocket
they're,
boosted.
they're literally the bomb.
I hear they're exploding.
Hey, God.
Zing!
Burn. Yeah, that's that they got the record.
Samsung Note 7s are the bomb.
Tear out the bomb. I wish I had like a Funk Flex bomb sound.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But I think they hit the record though, Carlos. In terms of business, it's the largest recall of a product in corporate history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have to like buy you a new phone on top of losing your sale.
They give you the version 6. Here, go ahead and take the
No,
last year's version. It works.
Well, no, it's like literally like it's like whatever phone the carrier's offering you. So
Yeah, because now
it might
now
not,
they're like,
it might not
well,
be a Samsung. You could buy like an iPhone for it.
right. Like now, it's like now you had the newest of the hotness, but pick anything else.
I mean, I'm sure they'll work it out so it's not an iPhone.
Yo, I would have been like,
Yeah,
let me go ahead and get one of those iPhones real quick. Yo, go ahead and discount it for me. Thank
Their
you.
new marketing plan is it comes with the stylus.
Yeah.
Here, take this iPhone 7. It won't blow up.
Oh my
It'll
god.
just
When is
work
someone
better.
else going to get stylus phone? Because I don't want that. I don't want an exploding phone, but I want a phone with a proper stylus. Like,
I don't know how we
is
use
anybody
it.
else doing that?
I would like to develop a new Apple Pencil stylus.
Yeah, if they have the iPhone Pro, that'd be cool. I
Mhm.
might jump on that.
iPhone 7 Pro.
They're supposed to
Comes
have
with a
new
stylus.
announcements coming out here in the
I
next
have
little
iPhone
bit.
7 Pro, where it's really just like an iPad Mini with a phone.
Yeah. It's crazy though. Speaking of phones, right? This is a good segue. This is what I wanted to talk about, Carlos. I just thought of it.
I thought I smelled burning.
What do you think? Shut up, I heard that. What do you think about, and you probably good to ask this question, the new Google phone?
Oh, what is it?
Pixel.
The Pixel or something?
The Pixel. Yes. Because my main gripe all these years, and everybody knows I've had the iPhone since they came out, and before that I was an avid smartphone user where I would jump from LGs to HTCs. I really liked HTCs back in the day, and I would hack the phones and change the operating system or have cool skins or just do a bunch of different stuff. Pre iPhones, I was actually using smartphones other than I even had a Trello. Not Trello, it was a Trello, and I had a Palm. Yeah, I was really big into Palm. I was in a Palm user group. I was nerding out back in the day.
Wow.
Because I was trying to get. They would give out free phones. The Chicago user group. So I keep going, thinking I'm going to get a phone.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're a geek; you're just cheap.
I wanted another one because they were giving out good phones, right? Because Palm, back in the day, if you know your history, Palm came out with the Palm OS, which was actually a really good operating system. It was like the precursor to what Apple's OS was. It was really sleek. It was very minimalistic and clean. It just was one of those things where when it came out, other things were starting to come out, and the phone market was starting to change from the old school, what it used to be, where everybody was using Blackberries and Palms and the little where you had the sliders and everybody, all the business guys thought they were cool because they had a BlackBerry, back in the day. And it switched out. Now, fast forward to when the iPhones came out and when the Android stuff came out. My whole gripe with Android, this is Charlie's rant, but my whole gripe with Android was that you never had a quintessential phone to push your whole movement of the Android OS. Because bear in mind, some people really do like that movement. That's awesome. How are you controlling me?
That's weird.
This is probably nasty. This is like one of those Bugs Bunny cartoons where
So everyone who actually likes the Android operating system, bear in mind you can like it, but they never had one phone to unify all those phones, right? So you go out and buy a Samsung phone and it'd be this is using the ice cream sandwich operating system, and this one's using the banana split or whatever, and this one's not as good, but the notes are always using this one. So to me, outside of market share of all the different phones that they had out there when they were competing with Apple, I never thought that the operating system itself was as good because they were always split into these 12 different versions.
Right.
So here now in 2016 we have the Google phone, right?
I have a question for you, Charlie. When are you going to turn off that clown thing?
I didn't turn it on.
Oh, because now you.
I'm on the sounds thing. That's the funny part.
Yeah, it might be Nate.
Yep.
Guilty.
I didn't know how to remove it. But here in now 2016, we have Google, because maybe Google's finally saying, "Yo, we need to probably come out with one phone and keep updating that because that seems to work." I don't know. Maybe I'm different.
I don't know, but I've had 3 Nexuses so far, and that was the Google phone before that.
Right, but those Nexuses though weren't the flagship though, right? Because if someone else, if you had one Nexus, it would have one operating system on it.
I mean, it would have just had the latest one, and then they pushed out to whatever was less than 18 months old.
Yeah, it just seems like they push out operating systems a lot more frequently, so it would stagnate because those phones wouldn't go away.
Yeah, I
Some
mean,
people will go buy the old one.
yeah, I think the lag was with the people rebranding it. So like the Samsungs, they would have to like they put their skin on the Android system, and that's where a lot of the lag would be.
Yeah.
But then that would like mess up performance sometimes based on. I mean, the Samsung seemed like they always used to have good iterations of the whatever the Android operating system was. But to me, when they were trying to then put that phone against iPhone, they'd be like, "Oh, it's cool, but it doesn't go as fast as this in terms of this, but it does. But it has a really beautiful camera and it has really
Right.
whatever." They always had the iPhone beat with that. But now I feel like they might change with this Google phone. I feel like
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're branding it harder because I think they were just kind of like, oh, and by the way, if you really want the pure Android, we have this, and it's $300. So yeah, but now they're actually trying to sell it, I guess.
yeah,
It's like back in the day when you bought a new, you bought a new computer, you go to like Circuit City or Best Buy, you get a new computer, and Compaq would put like a layer of their garbage
BS,
on top of
yeah.
of the Windows operating system, so their computers never ran as smoothly as like just a normal Windows machine.
I feel like that's what Android is. Because
Yeah.
it's like all those programs you don't need.
Yeah,
Or like
it's
their
true.
advertisement for programs.
Yeah, like you really have to seek it out or know that even exists. Because and it was like, I know when the Nexus first started coming out, people, it'd be like they would sell out right away because they only made a small run and you have to fight for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe this will help them out.
Yeah, because it used to be like more like the people that were into it would get it, and
Right.
nobody else would know about it.
Right. Now the interesting thing with the Google Pixel is you have to get your phone service through Google.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I haven't.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, the one thing I
they're
know
doing
about it
everything.
is
Yeah.
that the main color is very silver. That's the first thing that
The
comes up
cheap
on Google.
version is just kind of silver. The
Yeah,
one that you got.
Silverish.
Yeah. The one that you got. At Walmart
for
was-
$20 a month you get the silver, but if you want very silver, very silver, and then but then if you want the case, that's also very silver.
Yeah. They're like
I don't know
pushing.
why anybody cares what color the phone is.
Yeah, exactly. You're just gonna put a case on top of it anyway.
It's a
so.
different color. It's totally different color.
Actually, the only one that I care about is the phone I have. This is the Nexus 5. It has this fucking awesome bright.
Yeah.
But that's the only one. But then I have to just flip on a case on it.
The cool part though about this too, they came out with a VR headset for the Pixel called the Daydream Viewer.
Okay.
And dude, it looks like a felt, like it looks like a VR headset, right? But the outside looks like it's covered in like, I don't know, like almost like carpet or felt. It's like crazy.
No.
If you go to the
Is it
Google-
like that? Maybe it's like that rubberized stuff, or hold on a second.
No, it literally looks like a sweater or something. Like some
You
kind
can
of
rub it on your head and stick it to the wall.
right. Like here, like if you go to the site, like and then scroll down, that's cool. It's the coolest looking VR headset I've seen. It looks like it's expensive for no reason, just based off the way they branded it, the way this looks. It's just halfway down the screen you'll see the VR headset. After all the different cases, customizable cases, you can
Here, I'll
do.
show my screen real quick.
But it's like very interesting.
Is the VR any better than the cardboard stuff, or is it like?
I think the cardboard was the beginnings of this.
Yeah,
and
it's
now
like poor man's VR.
they added
Yeah,
carpeting and padding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the actual VR experience. Like,
Yeah.
is it just like a fancy cardboard box, or is it?
Yeah, it'd probably be as good as the Gear. If you ever seen the Samsung Gear, where you add that to it. It's just the Google seems like they're
it is.
too sophisticated for all that plastic. And they're like,
Yeah, it does look exactly like a high-end cardboard. Yeah.
mm-hmm. So yeah,
Look at all those
Which
exciting
means
colors.
I love how they like took their design. I think one of their like videos was supposed to be mocking Apple like crazy too. Like
Yeah.
it does the whole rotating of the phone with the highlight across the thing and all that stuff.
Uh,
It says something about the audio jack comes standard or something. It's just funny. So yeah, Google Pixel guys, check it out if you like to use stuff other than an iPhone.
All right, well, I'll check it
Nate, do you use technology when you're creating your artwork?
out. Like like pencils and paper. That's a technology.
That is hard to beat
Mhm.
technology.
That's primitive. No, yeah, I don't know. I draw on tablets and all that, and use Google Images, and I don't know. And use my
Have you-
and then use my VR headset and like dive into a virtual pen and paper.
Start drawing there. You graduated to us in
Have you seen that? I think it's for the Vive or Vive. There's like a virtual like spray paint program that looks.
It's called It's for the Vive, and it's amazing. You would like spend hours in it. It's actually I would say that one. It's what is it called? It's called what is it called? Something paint or
So
whatever.
for all of our
like commercial
listeners.
spray or something like that. Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I was gonna say it's the best implementation. Tilt Brush. It's called Tilt Brush. It's
Oh.
the best implementation of using VR.
Yeah.
Out
No,
there
I
right now.
love to what the example is so much, but no, there's one that's the spray one is different. I think it's called like Spray VR or something.
Oh, there's another like spray can one. Okay.
Yeah, it's like total like you get like a virtual wall that you like spray on and it drips.
Well,
off.
that's kind of cool. The graffiti
like-
stuff.
Yeah, so it's exactly like you just hold your hand up in there. And it's like exactly like using a spray can where you get closer, you get drips and all that, and it like the demo looks like it's real life. Honestly,
It's not
spray
King
can.
Spray Graffiti Simulator, is it?
Could be. That sounds right. Yeah, King Spray.
Or Sprayscape?
No, it's King Spray. King Spray.
King Spray? That looks cool.
Yeah, like if you look at the demo video on
Yo,
YouTube.
that looks badass.
Yeah, because I think I saw it on Reddit once, and this link to the video.
I want to know how good. It's like they took the tilt brush thing and took it a step further. We should give this to I should have over to the studio, Carlos. We should tape something with what's his name? Had him on the show. Have him spray in VR.
It depends on who you're talking about.
We've only had one graffiti artist, right?
Mhm.
Oh, he did spray body paint, didn't he?
Oh
a little
yeah,
different.
Diego.
spray.
Yeah.
Do we have a graffiti artist?
We tried super earlier.
Oh yeah.
I
Yes,
do
we
have
did.
another one that I'm gonna try to get on.
I would love to see him do that because from looking at this video,
Why is
Which
the
I,
monster high?
which I linked to you guys, I think.
Mhm.
From looking at this video, like I wonder because some of the pictures that are already on the walls looks very like vivid, like high quality, So I wonder how if I had one come into the studio and use the Vive, how good he'd be able to pick it up. He'd probably be able to make some cool stuff. So check that out.
But how much of that would be kind of like trying to get a musician to play Garage Hero or a Garage Band or Guitar
I would
Hero?
say that'd be a little more cheesy though, because this seems pretty it's almost like giving, a illustrator like Photoshop at that
Yeah.
point. Because they give you all the different spray cans. I wonder if you could change the tips.
What would be funny is if you're spray painting like this and then they had like digital police officers that would come and beat the hell out of you.
They already have that. Was it the Subway Surfer? Like it starts like this, and then you
That's
turn around and you're
That's called Anywhere in New York.
Yeah. Well, they even have it where the paint drips.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Yeah, like
Hmm.
and they can. I guess if you spray it out, it'll just like land on the ground. You see those little.
I'd
arcs.
rather keep seeing these nice painted characters to the left. I don't know if that's a sticker. Show me, paint something nice. Oh, you can't. Damn it. That's why I'm always for them having nice artists show their demo because I want to actually see if you can actually do any of this. Or
But
it's just a
the
gimmick.
weird thing is, I noticed this time around that the the pre-existing art is like Monster High. So I don't know why that's there, but it's like a actual IP.
I actually did a project for Monster High back,
Oh, nice.
back in the Disney.
Cool. Well, that's cool.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, I like it.
That's making me dizzy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only other thing with the like VR. Like, yeah. It's like,
Well, I think mostly because I'm watching it through your stream, so it's like choppy. I was watching like a bad like YouTube copy of the Looney Tunes this morning because I was just trying to introduce my 2-year-old to Looney Tunes because all he has is like, all he has is like PBS cartoons. I'm like, this stuff is whack. Just watching real animation.
don't you be talking about PBS?
No, it's got good stuff. Great message. Just bad. Bad
It
drawing.
could be worse. You could do a couple channels up and you'd be like, what is my little girl watching?
Yeah.
my little girl watching? Because I've done that a couple times. What was it? It was like, yeah, it was just a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to get myself in trouble. But like, it was a bunch of, that cartoon was weird politically correct. Like people were turning into Caitlyn Jenner. It was like weird. It's just weird. I can't remember what it was called though. It was the actual cartoon too. Like the little boy turned into like a girl. I don't know.
Is it Ranma?
What is it?
Ranma 1/2?
No, it wasn't an anime. This is totally like American Jack and Dexter style cartoon. And it was on one. You know how you're like, we have too many channels nowadays for cable, right? So it was on one of those like, channel 345 or something crazy, and it was like a regular network that they act like, you watch the network and they act like they've been around for like 80 years, and you're like, I don't know what station this is, and what are these cartoons?
It's like the cartoons you love since childhood. And you're like, what?
Like the station like talks to you like you come and visit them every week. Every day you watch programming on their channel. But knowing good and well, I'm never this high up in the channel list.
It's like, guess what? It's what you've been waiting for. A new episode of Samurai John. And you're like, what?
Yeah. Like, why is his name John? Why is it Jack? It's like it's his half brother that's like 45.
And the stick figure.
It's a stick figure. He has no weapon because he lost it.
Actually, I would watch one of those stick fighters, just like if it's a show.
Yeah.
Imagine if like, those like stick ninjas like got bought out into like a full length movie, and how much they fucked that up.
Those are always done really, really well.
It's like, why is there a
Those
love
are
interest?
really
They're just fighting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those are always done good. There was those ones where they always used to pick up weapons, and the other ones where they would just start off just fighting each other. You just see them slapping each other for the first 30 seconds. It's just hilarious.
Or that one where it's like the guy trying to like bust through a wall, and you just like elevates and turns into Super Saiyan, and then like
or the one where he's fighting your mouse. That's
that
like,
was great.
Old school now, like some
that guy did like
old school website, Newgrounds.
Yeah, that guy did like a new one recently where it was like it was like coming out of the computer doing shit, like playing something with his office equipment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was only from like a year ago or something like that.
Cool.
I'm gonna share my screen right now so we can take a look at
Neat artwork.
Stick figures.
Let's see.
He's got some pretty neat stick figures. Boom.
Oh, nice.
Old Blobby McGillicuddy, something.
One of the things that I like about your artwork, Nate, is you draw like you don't care. Like, here, take this. You love it.
Nice. So did you do all the artwork for this on this one? Stickers?
Yeah. The arcade box. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did all the fake stickers, which are real stickers, and the animation. I don't know. Let's see if on the blog somewhere you can probably find the animated version of that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like an actual flip book that goes.
Yo, so what's your main what's your main influence, Nate? You know, in terms of like your top 5 greatest influences based on
I'd say like probably
Top
old school.
5.
Yeah, let's see. We'll say Fleischer Brothers Popeye stuff.
Okay, that's one. That's number 5.
Like mid 40s Chuck Jones and Bob Clampett stuff from Warner Brother.
Dude, Monsters.
John Kay obviously is a big one.
That's the one that I can see a lot of.
I know, like I get that all the time. I'm like, no, it's just I'm just drawing cool fingers. He draws cool fingers. Not every bulging eyeball is Ren and Snippy. Come on, guys.
I know. Yeah. So, but I see it. Yeah, but yeah, I get it.
Now I got 2 more.
2. Top down.
Cheers. Okay, one from left field.
It's harder.
Dora the Explorer.
Yeah. Whoever did that would bring it out. Now, this is one artist I really dig from, and I forgot his name. So obviously I can't dig him that much. Believe it or not, probably something like Duchamp.
Okay.
Which is kind of like I feel like it probably, if you knew me 10 years ago, that would be bigger influence. But just kind of like always kind of trying to flip things on their head and do the unexpected. Maybe not so much my illustration, but any other context. And
last one.
I know. I don't know. It's
no pressure. No pressure.
Can I Google this one? Can I get a lifeline?
You can Google this one.
Yeah, get a lifeline. Who would you call?
I don't know. Who's up?
Everyone I know is asleep.
Jeez, let's say video games. Yeah, like Nintendo.
Okay,
there you go.
You do Nintendo, yeah. Yeah, what's that? You know.
I'm sure I got there. I think
look at that.
I had plan. Yeah, you see Laird.
No, that's good, man. I can see a lot of that influence. You know, also very like mural-esque style. You know,
yeah,
that you don't see a lot of artists do. Oh, that's awesome. You know, because like we're like. There's not just like one story in an illustration that you may do, but there's like a lot of little bitty ones. So if you like really look at the different ones, you catch them. You're like, what is that dude doing in the background? Oh my gosh, you know,
it's doing the coolest thing.
And usually what's your process for all this? Like, so are you like a pen and paper dude first and scan in, or
generally? I mean, depends like how intricate I'm going. And else, I don't know. It all depends, like what kind of quality I'm going for, or like how I'm working out. Generally, pen and paper work fine. Sometimes it's like a lot of like little pieces. I'll do all the pencil sketching digitally on my tablet, and I got like the Fredman brushes in Manga Studio, and that's almost as fast. But sometimes, like I just can't hit like a certain curve or some type of flow. I'll do that on paper. So it kind of depends. But if it's like a lot of small little moving pieces, a lot of little characters, then I'll draw those all in separate layers and sketch those out. But usually it starts off with like
cool.
That's my second enamel pen, and and I actually got like a bunch of like Game Boy cartridges from China to stick it on.
Oh, nice, nice.
They just have a bunch of cartridges just laying around.
No, they I think they make them for some reason. I guess they're people that either like the two purposes I see are like guys that do the 8-bit music. They'll actually like program their own chips,
so cool,
and they need the housing for it. So it's like an old school Game Boy cartridge, but it has like 250 gigs in it, and they have like all their loops in there. So it's like a full-fledged music studio on their Game Boy.
So crazy, yeah.
Yeah, so that's one thing. And then there's just people that restore old games, and it's like, oh, this one's busted. I'll put it on a new cartridge.
I like it. Yeah, the colors too.
Yeah, did you? That's a good call, Charlie. Because I keep looking at his work, and I'm like, man, these colors are whoa. These colors are they go really well together. Did you go to art school at all?
Yeah, but I think I probably sucked at color in art school. Yeah, that was something that I think actually I probably learned color best. Well, a lot of trial and error. I know actually my color wasn't too bad in our school, but like I the first thing was I used to read John Falusi's blog religiously, and he had a lot of really good posts on color theory that helped me out, like 15 years ago ish, 10 years ago, yeah, about 10 years ago. That's when he was most active. And then also just getting the screen printing, like that totally helped. Like I used to work at because I used to work at a screen printing shop, so it always and then it was based in Brooklyn, so it wasn't like in like South America or China where they can do like 20 colors for like.
I was going to ask you, do you pre-plan your colors and swatches? Using I had a couple other friends that do that, where like the colors you're going to use, but you can only use so many colors based off of.
Yeah. Like if I'm like this, this Popeye, for instance, like I knew, like I'll just make color layers and draw on those, or like color groups and work with that. Like I don't have it totally pre-planned, but like I have an idea.
Yeah.
And generally, like a lot of my, I tend to use primary colors in my screen prints a lot, and that's about it. This one's like if you go back a couple to that Sonic one. Notes in here somewhere. That one that's the 3-color print, but I'm getting like 5 or 6 colors out of it.
Yeah, I was wondering because like back when I was teaching,
so cute.
I would we would have in there like fundamental. What was that? I can't remember this. It's basically like their Photoshop class. I don't know if it was like a fundamental design. I can't remember what it was called, but I had a color theory section. So we go over like the all the different types of colors, analogous colors, split complementary, all that good stuff. But then they would have to go out and pick artwork that they liked. A lot of the smart students would always find guys that like would have their backgrounds in screen printing and stuff like that and t-shirts, because then it was easy for them, because I would say, okay, you need to pick out the color palette, use Adobe. We would use a lot of the different color swatch sites and stuff like that. Like, okay, pick it out based off the artwork that you picked to see if you can see the true color palette of what they're using. Because sometimes you could probably break it down into 5 or 6 swatches that they've used, overall, Yeah. It was always interesting to see people to look at those. I used to do that myself and be trying to dissect. Okay, he's only using 5 colors here. 4 of them are blues.
Yeah. So my screen printing background was like, I was working at a factory doing the separations for a couple of years, and like the max we had was like 7 colors or something like that. Yep. So you get like these full color things, and you have to break it up. So that got me really into like just like, oh, I can, I really only need like 3 tones, and then I'm good. Yeah. I can make something really vivid with a lot of contrast or whatever.
And that would be like the next assignment. Okay, let's have you make something and use only 6 ones or 4. Like 6. What I do? 6 or 8, 4, and 2 or something like that. Or something like that. Just as cool, like things to do to try to push themselves in terms of like making illustrations that like limit themselves on their amount of color. Like if you pre-planned it before, it's just like a different way of working, rather than people drawing it and then being like, okay, what should we color this guy? So it'd be interesting if you only have like 5 or 6 colors to use, and I tell you to stay in a certain color range. You get some really cool things. Where mostly, if I say, okay, it has to have a blue tone over the everything. Okay, so what does your trees look like? What is your leaves, and how can you use different shades of those colors to mimic what you're trying to create in terms of a texture or whatever, for that scene. It's interesting. I love looking at people's work that's very illustrative from a design standpoint. Art directors' pieces are a lot of times like that also, because just the way their heads are thinking, they usually think about that stuff before they're drawing, because they have something in mind, because it's all about the design for art directors. So
Yeah. They're thinking a couple of steps ahead as far as like.
Yeah, which is always interesting as an artist to think about. I don't know if you thought about this before, Carlos, like where people super plan their like drawings out. I mean, when they're drawing, it's very free form, right? But like at the same time, like they know what colors they're gonna use, especially if they're doing like a really good T-shirt designer that just draws really well, but comes up with really cool shirts. Sometimes you have to figure out, okay, cool, I can't draw this in a way where it's gonna have a lot of detail because all that stuff has to be colored if I wanted to have a color print.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I?
When you're going into a design, do you know the color? Do you know roughly what you're going to do with it?
Depends. It all depends. Like, I mean, like some things, have like a sort of like default color palette, that
Sure.
I might jump off of, or sometimes I'll just be like, no, I want this to be really freaking neon and hurt your eyes. Where I just, where I like, I don't really feel like using too many colors. I just want this to be tonal, but I'll do like, it's gonna be mostly green, but I want the yellow to pop kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is cute.
Yeah, I did some licensing stuff for a while.
Got an AT-AT walker out in the backyard in a doghouse with walker over the top.
Yeah, the other one where the dog's eating the skateboard was another really cool one, based on the examples we were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is my. I had 1 year where I was working for the T-shirt company. I had a bunch of licenses.
Have you ever done any like threadless type stuff or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of luck with that. I'm sure maybe if I went back at it now, I'd have a better shot. But like, I was doing it like 5 years ago where I didn't really have a clue. But like, I was like,
is that still a thing? Or
yeah, it's still a thing. I think it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not the cool thing anymore.
What they're starting to do, instead of everyone submitting their artwork, they might still do that, but I know that Threadless is offering everyone their own store.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in the beta for that, so I've got mine up there. That they don't really do anything to drive traffic to it, so it's kind of like, okay, we set up your store, good luck, and I literally get nothing off of that. So I stopped putting everything. Like, well, I could. It's. I mean, maybe the print quality is a little better. I can't tell because I've seen a sample once in person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, I get automatic traffic from my Redbubble, so I'm just going to put energy into my Redbubble and my Etsy and whatnot.
Yeah,
because those places actually give me traffic. So,
right.
Yeah.
Nice. CM Punk.
Oh, CM Punk got his butt whooped. Gosh.
CM Punk is from Chicago.
Yeah, unfortunately, he got his butt whooped.
He got.
Oh my gosh, he got his butt. Oh, got his ass kicked. It was just like, it was like Joe Rogan was like, "Yo, this is almost like not fair to watch." Like Joe Rogan went in, like literally, and like, Dana White's so smart. I don't know how he got everybody like. I felt so bad for him. I watch UFC all the time.
Yeah.
And the dude they put him up against is just like, you got CM Punk that spent the last 2 years trying to get ready for this one fight. And then they put him against a really, really young dude. Carlos, I'm talking like, I can't even remember the dude's name. That's why young. Like, he's an up-and-coming star, but he's very young. But at the same time, he's like maybe 25. But at the same, and CM Punk is my age. Is he 35, 36? No, 39 maybe. He might be 39.
Yeah.
And like, but the other guy is like a black belt, taekwondo or whatever. Like, it's like you're putting a black belt against a dude that's what, maybe white, purple, white, blue, whatever.
He used to wrestle for the WWE.
Yeah,
those guys are athletes, but they're not
that type of athlete.
Yeah, they're not
like
that type of athlete.
It's like if they just threw me in an NBA game. you know, like they gave me
Well,
2
it'd be a
years.
little different. It'd be a little different. Like,
I'd be a little better than what showing.
okay.
My showing, I'd get my buckets. I'd get some buckets. CM didn't get any buckets. The whole thing lasted 2 minutes.
Oh my god! And he got killed.
Oh my gosh, dude mounted him and was just boom, boom.
To work.
Poor CM. So I don't even know if they'll let him fight again. Dana might cut him.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be like a 2-fight deal or something like that, And CM was talking about, I'll come back. I get up and try again. He was giving it the college try.
Yeah.
Yes, he has heart, but it comes to a point where like, yo, you're going in there with black belts. I don't think you're gonna
Going in there with some killers.
Yeah, it's not enough time. Like, literally, that part of your life is over. You've done it. That's it. Just let it go. Like, think about it. Like, you can't make that transition. I think it's like physically impossible.
You
No,
could.
you couldn't.
You could.
Not with this. Not with
You
this.
could.
We're saying he could
Going
because
from-
he's
going
famous.
from wrestling. But the thing is, you can't expect to go into an MMA fight with like 6 months to a year even of training when you're dealing with someone that's been training MMA for 5 years. That's just not fair. It's a completely different animal. Is it possible? Yes, because look at he used to be the running back for the Dallas Cowboys back in the day.
Yes, but he trained.
And,
And
and he was a
got
real
his
athlete before that.
Got his black belt.
Right.
Like, so he put the time in. Like, he only trained for 2 years from CM Punk going from not doing anything to, like, you're only, like, what, 1 belt in, 2 belts in.
Yeah.
Like an orange belt going against a black belt. Like, it doesn't, I don't think it works with combat sports. Like,
Well,
'cause he
look at
doesn't-
man, why am I blanking on everyone's
Brock.
name right now? No. Well, yeah, him too. But
Brock,
the thing
Brock
is,
was a college
that's almost-
wrestler, though.
right.
Yeah.
But CM Punk, I'm sure, is some sort of wrestler or something.
Nothing. He's nothing.
No,
At all.
He's just a big
He
mouth.
was just a entertainer, athlete in the WWE. Don't really have any true background, and I'll fact check myself, but don't have really any true background. That's why they gave him 2 years to train.
CM Punk know how to fight. Enter.
While you look that up, I wanted to talk about this real quick. You have
Let's
this.
talk about it.
You have this illustration that I don't know if this made it on a T-shirt or not, so you can let me know.
Yeah, I mean, I put a T-shirt. I sold a couple.
Yeah.
Eventually,
So
donate $2.
there's this really cool. Okay, so I'm a bit of an environmentalist, and so this one actually.
Then why are you on
piqued my
computer?
interest. Because I'm a horrible environmentalist.
Being on a computer
Uh,
You're not broadcasting from a tree. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I draw on paper. I kill trees. But no, it says build turbines, not pipelines. And I saw it and I was like, this is so cool. I like it a lot. So I wanted to give you mad props. And then, did you guys see how there's a pipeline going from Canada down to almost to Mexico? I think it's going to go maybe
Really?
close down to Mexico. And then there was a lot of Native American tribes that were not petitioning, but they were protesting.
Yeah, well, they're gonna build it right through the land without asking permission.
Yeah.
Like they built the pipeline like right up to the border, and then they're like, okay, tomorrow we're gonna drill, and they're like, never said you could do that. They're
Charlie,
like, oh no, yeah, it's right
Wow,
here.
really?
yeah.
Yeah,
They
so
sick dogs on
that's
them.
what this is a reaction to. I'm like, come on, guys.
They sick
Wow.
dogs on them.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
Or
literally,
getting attacked.
literally people just like bleeding in the street. Well, dirt, whatever.
In the
But, it's
Yeah.
brutal, and it was like the security guards. It wasn't like police dogs or anything. It's just like,
it's just
Man.
and like all on camera. Like they did not give a. I don't know.
yeah, they didn't care. They just went for it. and you're like, oh
Wow.
my God, like how? I just don't. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to give you mad props on this one. I
Yeah,
really
that's
like
cool.
that. Um, One of the things that I always notice, but with you, it's just um, part of absolutely everything you do. I'm going to go back to your illustrations if the internet lets me. Everything you have such has such wonderful texture to it.
Hmm.
Um, are you using mostly Photoshop, mostly Illustrator, a combination of the two? Do you have a favorite?
90. Let's see. I would say 5 years ago, 90% of the time it was Illustrator, and I would, you know, be plopping in textures that way. Like that Nacho one was Illustrator, and I just actually got a tortilla texture. Um, but but I'd say 90% of the time now I'm using Manga Studio or Manga Studio. Whatever.
How is that? How is the new Manga Studio?
It's pretty awesome. I use it all the time.
Isn't it called something different? Man, now I really wish Jack was here because he was
you can
asking
get
about
you can
that.
get for $40 on Amazon.
Isn't it called something different now, though?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean,
They have,
I don't know what the brand new one is. I mean, I bought the license a few years ago, and
yeah.
you basically it's not like Photoshop where you have to upgrade or whatever. It's like you buy the license once and you have it.
Yeah,
Like-
then they rebranded it to something else, but I always thought the program was really good. Just their blending and stuff.
Yeah, because back they had version 4, which is really bad for painting, but then version 5, where they integrate a lot of stuff that was kind of like more Photoshop / painter style brushes, and that took it to a whole other level where you could do stuff like the one you're looking at now. That was yeah, but
Charlie,
back in the day, it was
Studio
like you would
Paint.
do line work in Manga Studio and then export to Photoshop to color. But now you can do, I can do like 99% of what I would do in here, and
Nice.
I like the textures on the brushes there better. Like I mean the Kyle brushes are good, but I think Manga Studio just like natively handles a lot better, and I feel like I can get it the way I want it. Like
Mhm.
I understand it. Like in the particle brushes, I work a little better for me, and all those things. So I've dived into enough secrets where I don't really have to go into Photoshop anymore to do what I want.
Nice.
Yeah, because it doesn't do everything Photoshop does, but there are workarounds to get it.
Sure.
If you're used to working a certain way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just as long as you have layers, colors, and textured brushes, like what else do you need? Well, maybe some text, some fonts.
Don't they have really cool ways of blending colors together then too?
Yeah, if there's like a sort of like an oil paint sort of setting where like it'll kind of like blend together with you have the front color and the background color,
Right.
and depending on how much pressure you have, it'll blend back to the background color. And then there's another setting where it'll also blend with the color that's existing on the layer at the same time.
Yeah. That's
Um,
cool.
and then like there are different things like when in a Photoshop you just kind of have like the black and white texture for the brush shape. But Manga Studio you can actually do like full color things as the samples. So like I have ones there where it's like kind of looks like a smudgy like marker where it's got like white streaks in the black ink kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't take advantage
really
of
cool
that
stuff.
enough because I like my layers to be one color. But
I'm kicking myself right now because I've been trying to look because there's a couple. There's been some really cool artists, that's had some really cool like how they did stuff and using Manga Studio over the years. And I was like, and what you were just talking about, the mixing the colors, like obviously you can do the whole cell shaded, really cool old school Disney, like like it's been painted on like glass, or you can go all the way to like this really like deep textured based workflow where it's like, man, was that even painted? Like how long did that take? You know, like where you can't tell if you like
Yeah,
printed
it's like,
it out on
why don't you
canvas.
just take a picture, man?
Yeah. Like you're just going crazy with this, you know. So if I figure it out, I'll post it up. I'll see if you know the artist. But yeah, I'm always give thumbs up to people using Manga Studio. I like it because it's a cool little hidden gem.
It's you
Oh,
can
wow,
you can get the software for lower than the price of
Right. Speak it.
Creative Cloud for 1 month.
Speak it.
Yeah, and it's like it's basically the license till like version 6, and you probably just pay another $20 for it. Yeah, now the full version is $48 for the Pro,
Ooh, there you go.
Studio
and
Paint.
that's not even that, because it used to be like $80 if you bought it digital, but if you bought the disc on Amazon, it'd be like $40,
Right.
$25 sometimes. They're always running deals, like so.
And if you wanted to go super cheap, you can go get Manga Studio 5 and open box software for
Hey,
$3.72.
you went there. That's old school.
If you wanted to go super cheap, for just under $4, you can be. You know what? For just under $4, you can get Manga Studio 5. And I bet you with Dave Atzy's Totally Tasty Art of
There it
Art of
is.
Dave Atsy book, you could be a professional illustrator like Nate Bear. So let's talk about your being a professional artist. How did you happen across that?
Trying all the wrong ways for a long time. Probably up to this minute.
Nice.
Supportive wife and family, and
Yeah.
because
Are you? Go ahead.
no, I was just saying, like I've been doing freelance full time
Mhm.
for, I guess since May, like 4 or 5 months now, but it's a big pay cut so far, but I'm pulling my weight to a degree. It's like some months are gangbusters, like I have Comic-Con or a big gig, and other months I'm like, everybody's late on paying those invoices.
Yeah, like people don't understand
That's the
that
part
like
of freelance that I
it's
just-
like jumping in the deep end, right, Carlos? So with freelance, like you're safe, you have your booties on or whatever, your floaties on, your
Mhm.
salary position or whatever. Then it's like somebody take them off. You literally get just jump in the deep end with no, and you don't know how to swim, and people, and then like 30 seconds in, you kind of learn because you're fighting for your life, and all the other things you don't think about.
You're like, I guess
billing, contracts.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I was going cold. Like I've been doing projects on the side, and I had tried doing freelance before,
Right.
but before I knew what I was doing and
Mm-hmm.
had any sense or whatever. So I was like, well, I've made this much money on the side for this long, and I've been turning down projects, and I got this big gig. I think I can make this work. Maybe I'll make more money. No. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I don't know if I have that much hustle, but
No, it's definitely
That's
a confidence thing, right? Too. Like, and each time you finish it, you're probably like, yeah, cool, got it done.
It's
Yeah,
definitely not for the faint of heart.
Right.
Yeah, because like every other day, I'm like, okay, I made enough to live this month, and like, oh my god, nobody's calling me. It's been 2 days since I've got. I haven't posted anything on Instagram. Oh my god, I'm gonna fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Someone call me, give me something to do.
Yeah, or it's like a couple of days, like like this week that there were, it was like Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, and the daycare was closed. All these, I was like, I'm not gonna get anything done. Oh boy.
Oh yeah. So you're at a home office and too. So then you have to navigate the family, right?
Yeah.
You
So
got
it's
set
like,
hours. Like, don't come into this room from 9 to 5.
yeah, part of where my dollars is going towards the full-time daycare, and the one we're at now it's like kind of like, we used to be one where it's flexible. It's like, oh, just give a month's notice and we can change your hours. This one, it's like you're locked in for whatever the 8 months are.
Oh, strict.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, okay, well, they're like, well, if you want to change your hours, just sign up for the full time. They're like, okay. So it's literally we're paying like double the rent. You know, it's like until it goes to preschool. And then we were thinking about moving to New Jersey because, you know, maybe buy a house. And then we're like, oh, wait, they don't have universal pre-K in Jersey? Jeez. Okay. We just got over here.
Maybe not.
It's like,
No. I feel your pain with daycare stuff. They don't tell you about that
yeah,
one.
so that's a challenge. Man,
like-
America, we didn't have
Whose
that figured
college
out.
education am I paying for already? I thought I had a good 18 years before I did stuff like this.
It's like, you're saving for a school. I'm like, no, I'm paying for a school.
I'm paying for like pictures of sunshine and popsicle sticks.
It's like, what did you learn today? Oh, it's sad.
But you're like, oh, okay, cool. They won't be weird.
It's like we learned how not to die today.
It's so much of an investment. You see the difference of like being at home with your significant other all day, and then they venture out into like dealing with other kids, or you start to watch them. You know, it's good.
Yeah.
But it sucks for price.
Yeah, no, it's definitely helpful development. Like, learns all this stuff I don't. We're like, what? You know all the months in Spanish? We don't even remember what they are. Okay. Oh, and you know the song for it. Cool. Like you just sing out of nowhere. Okay, learn that. We didn't know they were actually teaching you things there.
Like a 2-year-old, I'm only worried about the art that she comes home with. I'm like, oh, that's cool. How'd you make this? And she like, explains it. And I'm like listening. And say, why don't you look at the other thing? Nah, this is the coolest thing. So I'm like, we just want to worry about the coloring part. You stayed in line here. That was good.
Yeah. Oh my god, the art teacher, the previous daycare was like way too into it. Like, like she would have like art history. You know, it's like we're gonna study Monet today, and then we're gonna do impressions, and it's like it's all the same stuff. It's all collage.
Everything they draw is impression.
Like every day is impressions. But she had like like every month we get like this like 3-page like syllabus of what they learned, and then like the theory, and like okay,
Yeah,
well, and like a stack of drawings just tall. I'm like, okay, well these two look cool. Put down the wall. Is he looking? You just trash it.
No wonder it's killing you. Like you're at like a prestigious
No, it's not. This is
preschool for the gifted. We're learning
not.
Monet today.
That's one overzealous art teacher.
It's like the whole like we need the I love turtles.
Oh yeah.
I could just picture the art teacher, with like a scarf, weirdly low lit, besides the chatter of weird kids.
The teacher's sitting all creepy in the corner trying to perfectly sharpen the pencils with a pocket knife.
Yo, no, you know what that's like? It's like what's the movie? Billy Madison, where he goes inside early for from recess, and the teacher's having like alone time or her time or something. It's like you go outside, don't come back till the bell rings.
So Nate, you were talking about sharing office space. You work from home?
Yeah, I literally we've been looking for a bigger space, but that's impossible in New York. So
Right.
so literally my office is 2 feet from my bed right now.
I know how that used to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to. I mean, we rededicated the office room because we have a 2-bedroom apartment, or 1.5, whatever it is. So we had the small bedroom was the office for a few years until. Oh, hello. So this guy came around, and now he's got his own room.
Hi.
Oh,
Look at it.
What's up, dude?
Look at it. Did we wake you
woke
up?
up.
If you're listening on iTunes, Nate's son just woke up.
Looking sleepy.
Walked in. He's got a box of crayons and
See you later.
some spray paint.
Then he's off into the darkness.
That's the creepiest part.
Right? He just walks away. He could be standing over there, right? Just off of the light, and you wouldn't know it. It'd freak you.
No, he does that. He does it. He will do that.
You just standing. You look over. He's standing there staring at you. Oh.
Hi, you thirsty? Came back.
No, it's almost like having before we got our house. I would do the podcast in my bedroom, and that was always a adventure.
Yeah, if you look at some of the earlier shows, the back of Charlie was this big.
Elmhurst College,
Was it a sweatshirt or a blanket?
Sweater. Oh no, it was a blanket. It was a blanket.
Yeah.
That I would have over the bed, so you
Yeah.
couldn't see the bed. So yeah,
I need one of those. I had a conference call yesterday, and I was like, "Okay, we're not gonna do pictures, right?" I'm like, "Nope, damn it. Okay, you can see the bed behind me now."
I mean, my brother. I don't know how we survived that one. Shout out to my wife, Monica, because we've had some of the rowdiest podcasts on those back in the day.
My girl sleeps like a rock.
Yeah. Or she would start to comment. So every once in a while, you could hear her say something funny off camera.
Was it sleep comments or is it comments?
No, it was real common because she'll hear the conversation and be like,
That's not how I remember that.
and then all the guys would be like, "Oh, put her on the camera." Have her
Yeah.
answer the question.
Funny.
All right. Do you need to go back to bed?
No.
No.
You want to get on the podcast and talk about coloring?
Oh, you want Daddy's way?
If you're listening on iTunes, Nate's son is like half cyborg. He's got this really cool mechanical eye metal that goes across his head.
Where are you going? Okay. Went somewhere.
He needs to go recharge.
Yeah. It's like Daddy's too loud.
Is your wife an artist too, Nate?
Yeah. If you go,
Yeah, really? Oh, cool.
LauraGalbraith.com. She's got some good stuff. She's been challenged. Just had a couple years of I guess ever since she was born, she's had some fatigue issues, so she hasn't been doing as much art. But she's been we think we've got a handle on it, and she's been kicking ass a little bit.
Nice.
Galbraith, Gal.
So what's her style, man? What's her?
You'll see in a second, I think, once Carlos gets up. But
Yes.
Looks
Oh,
like
actually,
we got another guest for the show.
Boom.
so she's got that. Yeah, we got.
Uh-oh. Your
Oh,
mic went off.
cool.
Let's see. So that's one of hers. That's one of hers.
Is it oil painting?
No, those are digital.
Did you? I couldn't
Digital
tell.
canvas, yeah. I mean, she does all of her drawing, pen and ink. Oh, that's fun. This is a painting though.
Oh,
Is
nice.
she freelance too?
She's full time doing web product design, and I don't know. There's only so many hours for that
How
stuff.
cool is it to have an artistic wife?
Yeah, but we generally we do the Comic Cons and stuff together.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So this year, she's MIA, but we had all her art there, and she came on the weekend. But I think next year we'll be back in form. But yeah. So we've been doing the conventions together for forever. It feels like, and really learned a lot of stuff together. And she definitely has a good eye for what products are going to sell and stuff like that. So she'll set me straight. I just came out with these new pins that I debuted at Comic-Con, and I had done my designs.
Oh, cool.
And then this cat one, I didn't think much of it. I did it as, she's going through my sketchbook, picking out stuff to sell.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, you should do this one as a pin." And I'm like, "Okay." And it ended up being the bestseller at Comic-Con this weekend.
Nice.
I literally almost sold out, and I'm supposed to do a promotion on it soon, and I don't know if I have enough. So I'm already reordering that one. That's the first.
So this,
All
yes.
of this stuff is available on your website for.
Is it?
Yes,
Yeah,
these are live on
Read that
website.
line.
I haven't promoted them yet online, but they're all available for purchase
Cool.
at blindheart.co.
So what's that process like with the pins? Because I know I've seen in a lot of artist alleys when I go to Chicago Comic Con. You know, I mean, people do the buttons, and I can get an idea how the buttons are made because you can get a button maker, right, Carlos and the guys.
Yeah.
You can get those made, but with the pin, especially like the cat one, it seems a little bit more involved.
Yeah, I mean it's an involved process, but everybody just sends, you send some Illustrator file to China and they make it for you. I mean, there's technical aspects to it, but it's not any. I know if you're familiar with doing like screen printed T-shirts, it's not too different in terms of art process. Like
Just
it can,
fourth then.
yeah. I mean, the main thing is that you need like a key line around all the colors because like they're literally, there's like little guys with like a syringe squirting the dye into all the little parts.
Oh, wow.
So that's and then there's like that's for the soft enamel and the hard enamel. I think they use like a powder or some of that, and fire it for each color. But yeah, because it's basically they press the one mold. They make a mold of like the original shape that gets is produced digitally somehow, and then they for all the coloring they're just literally squirting in by hand.
Bananas.
Yeah, so if it gets too intricate, they're just gonna be like, no, we can't do that. Like this one's got a lot of detail, so that was like I had to like cut back.
Making those dudes work over there.
I know. Jeepers.
Yeah, like if you look at the face on there, I initially had all the lines on the face is like solid, but I made little gaps so that they'd have to do like one squirt that would fill in the whole area versus lots of little squirts.
Oh,
That's
wow.
smart.
So how long does it take? After you give them the design?
From email to in my hands, generally about a month to 5 weeks. Yeah, it's not too bad considering they're all come from China. They ship pretty fast.
Yeah.
And then like if you get a reorder, they will save the mold, and it'll take you to scratch a week off of that because they're now making samples. They already know what they're doing. So yeah, you can have it as little as 3 or 4 weeks.
That's awesome.
That's
bananas. And you had good, and
I was thinking that was like a lot longer.
No, I mean it depends. It depends because like and it depends on the workload, the factor, and all that stuff. Because I think the first 2 pins I gotten, they took somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks. But
Right.
I've been going. I don't know. I guess I found faster suppliers. So I think these guys came in a little over 4 weeks. Once I had a lot back and forth in the arcade one just because all the detail, and like because they wanted to like redo things their way and like, oh, this will be the way it prints. And I'm like, no, you fill in things that don't need to be filled.
Right.
It's like, let me redo it. Yeah.
Did you say where you got that, or is that like a industry secret?
No, this one's not secret. It's gonna be on the website. These I got through pingamestrong.com.
I like my pin game strong.
Pin game is
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah, I mean that's like the big hashtag for it is pin game. So somebody was like, "Yo, that URL has not been taken." I guess I'm going to be in the pin business now. Okay. But that's not too bad. And cool. And it's a fun process. And yeah, it's like just really awesome to see things made into objects.
So do you make a halfway decent? I don't want to say do you make a living because New York Comic Con is only
it's one time a year.
long. Yeah.
Right.
I mean it's a good amount of change to like reinvest into the business and and pay off whatever all my sticker orders for the year or whatever. But it's not more than a couple months rent or whatever.
That's cool.
So I mean, if I was doing New York Comic Con every month, I'd be set.
You'd be straight. Yeah.
But this New York Comic Con is one of the higher traffic conventions.
Right.
I think it's actually the highest
Second.
traffic one. So I'm like, I'm not even sure if I want to go to any of the other ones.
Have you ever been down to San Diego or any other
second
ones?
highest.
I've yet to be to San Diego, and that one's like I always missed it. I was like, oh, the deadline for getting your badge is like in December or something like that. I'm like, oh, I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then there's like just a huge wait list for the tables, and I hear the tables are like twice of the what I'm paying in New York already.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
and it's not quite as artist orientated from what I hear. So it doesn't seem worth it. I mean, there are a few others like like Rose City, Emerald City, Dragon Con, Wizard Con, like all the like I guess the second tier cons that are more artist focused. Where I know I have friends that do well, and I have friends that travel and do that stuff. But I don't know how many people are doing living off of that. But
So how is New York Comic Con? I was reading up about it. What is your thoughts on it? Because I'm assuming you've gone a bunch of times, besides being in Artist Alley. For the people that don't know much about it, maybe they only know about San Diego. Since New York is I think the second largest one. How is it?
Yeah, I think I think technically it's got the most people attending. Where I don't know, or daily people attending, something like that. Where I think San Diego is like 100-something thousand, and they're up to like 200,000 attendees.
Really?
For New York. Yeah, so it's actually more people. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But I think it's just like a population thing where it's in the city and all that.
And the focus is still there. I always hear that New York, like you said earlier, New York is still, the word Comic-Con still rings true with them, where they're artist driven. They want people to see the artists that are in Artist Alley, whereas San Diego is more of a movie spectacle and take a look at these movies that are coming out.
Yeah, and I think that's just maybe just a product of the location.
Yeah.
Where there's just like a lot of actual comic artists in New York and all that stuff. Up until recently, Marvel was still based in New York, and but I know I know a few professional artists that still live in New York and all that stuff. So I think in terms of that, that's still happening. And then yeah, I haven't been to San Diego, so I can't really compare what the vendors are like. But it seems like New York Comic Con's pretty democratic in terms of who can buy a booth, and it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not as because I think from what I've heard, like the Artist Alley at San Diego is kind of like shove off to the side, not like a feature thing. I mean, it's
is it like huge?
What, the New York? Yeah, it's huge. It's the Javits Center.
Well,
so
the Artist Alley, yeah, for
the Artist Alley at New York Comic Con is like, probably as big as some, like if you went to like SPX or something like that, it's like an SPX off to the side.
Oh, okay.
Like that kind of size. And I remember in years past, it was kind of like they would fill up 80% of the hall, and now it's like completely filled, and it's like all like the talent level I know is a little higher.
Yeah.
In terms of because it used to be like they have like a booth for like this one publisher, and they have their artists there like 10% of the day to do signings, but now it's like people sitting there all day pushing their own
waiting on
stuff.
Yeah.
It used to be like now everybody has like one of those printed out banners and actually selling things besides sketches. So even that's like a little leveled up from before.
And did you ever have dreams of being a comic book artist?
Oh yeah, I mean, like I remember taking classes from like guys that drew from Marvel. Like they would teach like at the high school on the weekends and things like that.
Oh, cool.
So I always thought of that, but like I guess I just never had the desire / chops to do anatomically correct things. Um, and not that
Yeah.
you know, now there's always little side things like, you know, this guy. Actually, I have one of his books right here. It's not what he does. But this guy, Jacob Chabot, but he does all these cartoony books. But he also does, like, you know, he does titles for Marvel, but he also does like this chibi version of the Marvel characters that's like officially part of Marvel.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they have like all these little spin-offs, and like DC's got like little, you know, they have like little kiddie versions of things, and
Yeah.
so it's possible to be in that world now. Like, whereas, like, you know, 20 years ago, it's like you draw muscles, you get out. You can draw for Batman Adventures. Okay. But so yeah, I think there's like a more variety of style these days. But I always enjoyed it. I read my comics as a kid, but it just never seemed like where it was going. You know, then after seeing like Ryan City cartoon, like, my aspirations are more towards doing that kind of thing.
Did you want to get into animation?
Yeah, it's still on my bucket list. I think it, you know, it's just one of those things where you really have to focus and want it, and like I was invited to pitch Nickelodeon cartoons a couple of years back.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And, you know, and they said you know, like, oh, you came into the last round, but, you know, we ended up going something else, kind of thing. So I don't know how close I actually got it. I don't know if there's cartoon anywhere.
Yeah.
And then the guy that you know scouted me is in that department anymore, so I don't know how much of a chance I have now. It's just it's just like, you know, it's one thing about to draw a character or draw like a couple little funny comics, and it's another thing to have like come up with a whole a strong enough concept that would carry over to like a, you know, 12 episode series kind of thing.
Right.
So that's the kind of thinking that, I mean, I'm sure I have it in me, but it's like it's not where my focus has been. So it was very hard to like you know, tap that well.
So how did that work out? You're just creating stuff and you're putting work out there, and some dude just randomly said, "Hey, I really like your artwork. You want to pitch?"
Basically, I think he had seen some of my zines, so it was, you know, it was like narrative work.
Right.
Okay.
But, you know, but, you know, they're basically, well, the things that you have existing, they're okay, but we want to see, you know, two best friends doing that's kid friendly and targeting, you know, this age range. And like, okay, I don't have that, so I'll have to make something up within the next month. And then, yeah,
high five.
Yeah. So, and then, you know, I've had it in the back of my mind, but it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like my brain doesn't work that way. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. So maybe it'll be a few more years before that brews, or maybe I just something I have to exercise.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely something I want to do, but like, you know, what I really want to do is direct like Looney Tunes 5-minute short kind of things.
I hear you.
And that just kind of doesn't exist outside of YouTube, you know.
I was listening to, actually, DaCosta shared this link with me this week. The CEO of Atomic Cartoons, that's in Vancouver, she was interviewed, and she was talking about how media is changing and how these big conglomerates need to refocus the way things are delivered. And she started saying things that were, you know, we take it for granted, or we are so very used to the way things are delivered now. You know, here's a half-hour special, or here's a half-hour show. You have to make 22 minutes out of, you know, you have to create 22 minutes for a half-hour slot.
Right.
And then there's other formats that are, you know, here's 11 minutes, here's 11 minutes. Those are your 22 minutes, and you're off and running, right? She said, the way that things are changing now, who's to say that you can't have 3 minutes here and 11 minutes there? And, you know, the way that she was talking about, I'll see if I can't drum up that link. It was a very cool interview and the way that the CEO of Atomic Cartoons was talking, you're like, wow, that's really cool to see that transition starting to happen, and how these animation studios are actually starting to think of things in a completely different way.
Right. A little bit outside the box.
Yeah. And I guess it's just like, it's either right now it hasn't made that jump yet, or they haven't figured out a good way to monetize that. Because like, who wants to pay? You know, because right now the delivery model is like, okay, either you watch the free stream with your cable subscription, or you pay X dollars for the season or per episode. And you know, who wants to pay, you know, $2 for a 3-minute cartoon kind of thing?
Right.
You know, like maybe that needs to be 99 cents. Even that is pushing it for most people. You know, as far as like, well, I could see 5 million 3-minute cartoons for free every year.
I mean, and then again, you know, she talked about how all of her kids all have an iPad, and they're on YouTube, and they spend all their time on YouTube watching all this stuff.
Yeah.
Which, again, it's just really neat to see that. And we talk about this on the show all the time, where technology affords all of us the ability to make this stuff. So someone like you, with all of the work that you have, like, it'd be hilarious to, you know, you have, you know, Pizza Mouse running down the, you know, you had that cartoon version of Pizza Rat.
Right.
And I think I would love to see your imagination animated.
Yeah.
Oh, I can already see some of those floppy hands, and you know, I could already see some of those things working.
Yeah. So that's long term. And then there's also just kind of like my own, you know, I think the only thing stopping me is really my own focus and attention span, to be like, I'm gonna, you know, disappear for a month and you're not gonna see anything on my Instagram. I don't know if I can, you know, it's sort of like a push and pull, where it's like, well, to get noticed you have to, you know, put out something every day. But if you're going to work on something as involved as an animation, that's, you know, you're going to be working so many hours and not having anything to show for it, that unless you're really going to go behind the scenes, which I'm not against, but you know, I like to put out finished products and then show a little bit.
Mm-hmm. You know, I was this reminds me of, like, because you're talking about like having time for like learning new things, or like so that you can do other things like the animations and stuff, and it's just like fitting all that stuff in, or versus like getting things done, you know. And there was like a random video, you know, Facebook feeds are always kind of hit or miss for me at times, but there was a random video talking about which I kind of took to heart and ended up listening to it twice, you know, about getting stuff done or learning new things, right? And taking, what was it? To learn something new, it takes 20 hours, right? And that kind of flies in the face of the, what is it, Carlos? Mastery, is it 10,000 hours?
Yeah, 10,000 hours mastery, yeah.
Right? Right. And I was like, yo, and I perked up because like it's a random video that I clicked. I'm sitting on the train. I'm like, and the dude looked like he was like Steve Jobs Guru 2.0 or whatever. Had a really crazy voice. But I was like, yo, he's making a lot of sense. Like taking like an hour and a half, or like 45 minutes, you know, and it could be equated to anything that you do, right? So if it's drawing, illustration, animation, things or projects that you want to do, there's like actionable things that you can do in order to learn it. And it only takes 20 hours instead of taking the big time that most people think, you know. And it can be equated to anything, you know, in terms of not just like learning a new skill. And I thought it was really, really cool. I'll have to find a link and put it in the show notes. But this guy was really cool. I don't know who this guy was, or this other guy who was interviewing him. It's one of those, I've never heard of them before. He wrote some type of book. Don't really care about the book, but this was like they broke it down into like 5 different actionable things that you can do. I won't go into all of them, but like it was basically like some of the things we talk about on the show, giving yourself a project and breaking things down into chunks. So they said one of the things he was saying is he learned how to program, you know. So programming, I want to be a programmer, you know, instead of, I'm this, but I want to learn programming. That's like too broad of a sentence to use, right? It's too, because programming has a lot of stuff. Carlos is a programmer. Like it's got a lot of stuff in it, you know, languages and types of programming and things. So if you break this down into, okay, I want to do a certain thing. I want to program my website so that it can do this, this, and this. That is a lot more actionable thing that you can do. And I thought it really resonated me in terms of artwork, right? Because as an artist, they're always learning new programs, or I want to learn this program so that I can do this, or this program so I can make this switch into this type of profession, right? Whereas like, so now I've just applied that to a bunch of things this week where like, oh, okay, being this is too broad of a thing to say. I want to learn how to do this, you know, like learn how to use this program to do this particular thing, you know. So you can do it even with animations, you know, or whatever. I don't want to learn the whole thing of animations. I want to learn how to do, you know, a really convincing walk cycle or whatever, you know. And it's like a bunch of little bitty things that wraps up into that broad topic that you're trying to learn that would actually be actionable, you know. And then next thing you know, 20 hours from now, you know how to do that thing. Do you know how to do everything? No, but you know how to do. It gets you to a point, you know. I think that was really. It just, I don't know why that triggered what I watched this morning or this week, but you know, because I always find myself saying I don't have enough time to do a lot of different things, you know. And it's found like it's really helped just breaking things down into actionable tasks, you know, and that's where that practice comes in. You know, you practice doing this.
And if you think about like the way the big studios do, if you think about like Leica or like whatever they call themselves, you know, they when they start something, they don't know how to do half the scenes that they do. They're kind of like experimenting on the fly, and they're inventing it as they go. And that's the same thing. Right. Is that's like if I were to sit down and do a cartoon, it's like, okay, I'm gonna learn what I want to put a walk cycle in my cartoon, so I'll learn how to do a walk cycle, and then you know it's going scene by scene.
Right.
So it's not like I have to learn all of it at once. I just have to learn one scene at a time.
But once you're done with that project, guess what? You know, you've made an animation. You know, you know.
Yeah. Right, you know, and that's the thing. Especially for some of the younger artists out there that want to learn Photoshop, that want to learn walk cycles and animation and all that stuff. The software between studios is very much not consistent.
Right.
Very inconsistent. You know, some people still use Adobe Animate. Some people use Toon Boom. Some people use Photoshop. Nate uses Clip Studio Paint. You know, so there's so many different ways to do that one thing. Mm-hmm. And studios don't necessarily want you to know all the ins and outs of Photoshop. Does it help? Sure. But they would rather have someone that that's a problem solver. Mm-hmm. That if they say, find a better way to do this, someone that has the capabilities of figuring it out. You're not always going to go to Photoshop, because what's going to happen if you go to a studio that doesn't have Photoshop? Mm-hmm. You know, so there are skills that you do want to learn, like color theory and balance and all that good stuff, like what draws a person's eye to where, and you know, walk cycles and what makes a good walk cycle. But
and those are those actionable things, you know, that goes into learning how to do, you know, be a better art draw, you know, how to be a better illustrator. You know, that's easier than saying I want to learn how to illustrate, or I want to make a book. You know, or there's things you have to do, you know, to get to those steps, you know, and you do enough of them, and next thing you know, you get there. That's so true.
Yeah, and I think if we all think back to like when we were learning say Photoshop, which I think we're all familiar with. But like, most of it was figuring out, being like, oh, I want to do this. I don't know how to do that. Let me Google that, and then you do that, a few hundred times, and you know about the whole program like the back of your hand until.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I think people they forget that, right? Because then even the videos talking about, they talked about like educational system and stuff. It's to a point where like you learn a lot of things from memory, and then you forget them. So when people want to do actual skill sets, and obviously we're using it for artwork and art based things, but everybody that's listening, you can also use this for anything you're trying to do. If you're trying to be more handy around your house, or you're trying to learn how to, fix your car yourself, right? I mean, those things are really big things. To be a mechanic, that's that broad thing, right? Or to fix your car, that's that broad thing. But how do you change your spark plug? Like there's things that like I learned on my first car that, the mechanic friend that gave me, here's a car because you're a good kid. I had this old car here. It was a '89 Chevrolet Sprint, right? But then he showed me how to change the spark plugs, check the oil and all that stuff, and I felt like I knew how to fix that car in and out, But there's things you learn. I'm sure for car enthusiasts, that's how it starts, right? I'm sure, Carlos, you had people into cars, and then next, they started off by learning how to change spark plugs, but then it moved into this, then it moved into this, and next they're telling you, oh, they're listening to the engine. Oh, it sounds like it's your alternator. How do you know that? I think that's just how it starts. Like a bunch of little things.
I am far from a mechanic, but I've had so many crappy cars. My car broke down in Chicago once. I changed an alternator with a wrench and a crowbar. It was snowing and freezing outside.
Nice. You're like, okay, cool. I need to get over to what is it, to AutoZone and buy this. To go to this and buy this. Now I just need to get it off my car and put the new one on and throw the old one away. Like make it real simple. But no, I just think it's a cool thing, And I was like, you think 20 hours is like pretty quick, but like if you did it like once a night or something, before you know it, it's only a couple weeks or whatever,
Yeah, it's like if you do an hour a night, that's like a month.
I don't know why I thought about that, but like it's just 20 seems a lot more attainable than 10,000 hours, for
well, to learn the skill might be 20, but to be
but the master, even for like
the master
wanting to do a new job, you don't have to be a master at that point. You just have to have a cognitive, you just have to know how to do it, But mastering, because then they equate like Tiger Woods, right? To be able to go up against a Tiger Woods, then you need to hit that 10,000 hours. So then you're on that same playing field, if you will, and that might take you however long that takes you. Tiger might be old and gray by the time you get to that point.
That kid can't even. You see that he withdrew from this next tournament?
Oh, is he in another slump?
He's a mess. Anyway, we don't need to go down that rat hole.
Oh no.
No. Instead,
I heard something. Yeah.
Nate Bear, NateBearArt.com. This or that? Would you rather have a big, ugly, grown bear?
Oh, I know where you're going with
or
that.
Or would you have a really cute, cuddly cub, maybe from Chicago?
Really?
That's more like an hour later kind of thing.
Now and later's? No.
Okay, I'll do the cub. That way I can experience both the cub and the full-grown gnarly bear.
There you go. And not to mention that they're about to win the World Series.
Yes.
But maybe the full-grown bear is house trained. I don't know.
We got those two in Chicago, by the way. I was looking through all of your the items that you have in your store, and I was wondering, do you prefer stickers or magnets?
Mm.
Oh shit. Um, I say stickers because actually use I use magnets, but you use the same like 10 all of them. So I'd say stickers just so I can slap on new things.
Nice.
Nice.
By the way, we do have some. We have some Sketch Zone stickers and magnets.
Yes, we do.
Okay. This one, let's follow up on your store. So again, if you guys go to natebearart.com/store, you can see all this stuff that we're talking about. Go buy my man's stuff. His t-shirts are rad. Pins or t-shirts?
Pins.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. You were talking about video games and finding your inspiration in video games and stuff. Are you more of a Sega guy or Nintendo guy?
Oh boy. Hmm. I have to say now I'm a Nintendo guy, but back in the day I was a Sega guy. That's just what happened.
It's easy to be a Nintendo guy now because Sega's kind of.
The Sega's not there. But I always like the Sonics a lot. But I don't know. I appreciate a lot more about Nintendo.
Yeah.
And even like the business side, like I watched a couple of documentaries on them. Like they're really smart about like, not always going the high tech, but just like keeping it simple and maxing out the gameplay aspects.
Yeah. Seeing that you are a Nate Bear, would you rather have a Care Bear or a Hair Bear Bunch?
What is a Hair Bear Bunch?
Wow.
Have you not seen the Hair Bear Bunch?
Let's Google that.
Google that. That's old school right there. I wonder. I forget who it was. It's Hanna-Barbera-esque.
Oh, this dude's what? How old is that? 71.
So,
First episode September 11th. 71. Final episode 72. No, I guess I'd go with Care Bears because I know what they are.
because they have that mean Care Bear stare. All right. So if you guys
Does that
are
one have
looking
boobs?
through,
Yeah.
huh?
That's it. No, it looks like one of them has boobs. I'm not sure.
Hair Bear Bunch. So I was looking through all of your artwork and some of your stickers and stuff, and you had like Pizza Rat. You had all these pizza stickers. You have a pizza pie pop faces sticker sheet. Like you have all these pizzas. So I was wondering, delivery or DiGiorno?
Toaster oven. Where you just take a slice of bread, tomato sauce, sprinkle the cheese on.
You eat that broke ass pizza.
Well, I'm vegan, so it's hard to get there that kind.
Being
Oh,
innovative.
no, you threw a
Actually,
wrench
no. There's a place around the corner that does vegan pizza.
in it. Yeah.
But they always mess it up.
Are you? How strict are you? Do you not do cheese or?
Yeah, I mean, occasionally it will get into things, and I don't care. But I don't do it on purpose.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, or the little guy will just be like, "Here, Daddy," and it'll stick a goldfish in my mouth. I'm like, "All right."
Right. Yeah.
I can't say no to you. It's just a goldfish. It's 10%.
You're not a cracker.
It's not goldfish. It's the bunnies because they're organic.
All right, that's it for this or that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh, we were talking about like Comic-Cons and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting excited because in November I'm going to CTN this year.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. I've never been. I'm really curious about that one.
Yeah. Have you ever been to anything kind of like that where it's more of a like an expo or something like that rather than a Comic-Con? Does that make sense?
Like it's an industry kind of thing, or
Yeah, it's
Smaller
more of a
intimate.
trade show than it is.
Yeah.
I mean, sorta. I've been to like photo expos just to like check out all the equipment and all that stuff. And
Oh.
those are actually pretty cool. But it's probably not quite the same thing because it's not like, it's more like people showing off the new high tech stuff or Adobe showing off their
Yeah.
features.
Are you a bit of a photographer?
Not really. I mean, I take photos and I try to do a good job at it, but now I just use my phone all the time and take snapshots, but artistic ones sometimes. I don't know. It's just another investment. I mean, if I wanted to drop another $1,000 I don't have, I would get a camera.
Do a lot more drawing.
Yeah, no, I've been wanting an SLR for so long, but
Yeah.
just not like cars. It's like it's probably a better investment to get a tablet that's not broken, something like that.
Yeah. These phone cameras are getting so good now.
I don't miss it so much. I'm like, I'll zoom in. I'll be like, I took a great picture, and I zoom in, and I'm like, oh, but
go to my Instagram page. I have some good ones.
yeah, especially I was trying to take product photos the other day. I was like, oh, these look great, and then like I, go place it in the store. And I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
And
You
it's
always,
like,
gotta
okay.
you always got to turn on HDR, and you always got to turn up the quality of the output of the photo that you get.
Yeah, I mean, I have all the
Largest
cranked
one.
up, but if the lighting's not just like direct sunlight, it just doesn't get you a good shot, and it's always blurry. And it looks on the little screen.
Yeah.
I'm like, that'll look great, and then just zoom in, it's just like shaky.
I actually have a DSLR, and I was trying to shoot this commercial for this vineyard out here. And it was going to be just a 15-second spot type of thing. And I kept trying to get everything right. And my camera just wasn't getting that crisp and clear. So I just real quick put my iPhone on a roller skate dolly, and I did a pan that way. And then I put some motion graphics on it. They loved it.
You're like,
Yeah.
got him.
So again, that's one of those things where, you can spend all day, every day. You can spend 20 hours trying to learn a DSLR, but at the end of the day,
Get
it
the
was
shot.
an iPhone that delivered.
Use a shot, yeah.
So anyway, so that's it. Let's go into what do we call it? Artist showcase. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen because I found quite. Let me see, which one am I? This guy here. This guy's name is Cesar Vergara. He's from
nice guy.
Barcelona, Spain. You know him?
Yeah, I followed it.
Yeah, this guy's work is totes amazing.
Oh, it's amazing. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was doing Jack and I are going to we kind of slacked off on process projects, but we're going to get back on it here in just a little bit. And so I started doing some research on just like painting techniques and stuff like that. And this guy shows up. And again, his color, his texture, obviously his painting, his poses are just super tight. I think, yeah, that's a painting too. So that's incredible because he took He took and did an oil style painting of a lady laying on a couch, and then the one on top is the same pose and everything, but in a cartoon style.
Oh, nice.
And then he throws down on a Wonder Woman. Bam, there you go.
Yeah, I love it when they switch it up. When they say, yo, just so you know,
I got it like this too.
I got the skills.
And then he goes like a straight up cartoon. This is like a mobile game probably somewhere. It looks like
Vikings Attack of the Quest.
I like that one.
Fighting Vikings.
It's so cool. Anna Jones instead of Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so if you go to behance.net, BEHANCE.net/Caesar, CESARVS, Caesar VS, and take a look at his work. This guy is pretty awesome.
Toad's amazing.
It's amazing. This looks like is probably a selfie with him and his lady. So yeah, there you go. Cesar Vergara.
I love using the sound Jackson here. So for this week for mine, guys. Okay, so I switch gears this week. And I am back on my 3D-ish. And I'm going to show you this guy. Because he's Toad's amazing. Let's see here. Okay, so yo, my guy's name is Paul Braddock. Now, Paul is a visual effects artist. But in his spare time, he's into characters, design, and 3D printing. Now, we'll venture to Paul's page, which is here. So let's get that out the way first. So he's a visual effects artist, right? And some of the work he's worked on, you know, he has his list of insert movie here, you know, of the things he's worked on, right? I thought he was going to have some cool, like, behind-the-scenes stuff with this, but his website is paul-braddock.com, and he makes these really cool robots.
DDOCK.
Yep, BRADDOCK, like he said. But check out these things. Like, so, as a 3D guy, I love his look dev that he does on his models. They all look super realistic, and the lighting is amazing that he's doing. He's like lighting them as if they're like products, you know. So he has a lot of cool stuff, but at the same time, he does really cool 3D printing of things, of models and stuff like that. So his 3D printings have this really cool quality to them too. That he's using. If we go to his ArtStation, just to show you some of his 3D work, it's just really cool. Renditions of models. We've seen that one already. Here's his other guy. It's really cool stuff. I just like this work, you know. And he was using a bunch of different ways to show off his work, you know. So it seems like he'll like model something with the idea of like, cool, this could be cool for me to print this into a bust, you know, 3D print this into a bust or whatever. And like it seems like, so he's got some of his models that he's printed with different types of filament or whatever. With the 3D printing, you have different type of filament you can use. And I feel like it's just like a far cry from probably what he does 9 to 5 as like on movies as a VFX artist. I like that he's doing, you know, different things. You know, here's another one here. I like that he's doing different things outside of work. You know, 3D print Thing Beast. You know, like I always like artists that are like doing other stuff like in their spare time. You know, that's totally different. You know, like this was just awesome for me. I don't know why it makes me laugh.
Dodgeball.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
That's funny.
You know, like what else we have here? Like, look at this frog here. I would love to have on my desk. You know, very expressive.
That's cool.
Right?
When you were on his website and I saw those movie posters, I thought maybe he was like a movie poster designer.
Uh-huh.
And Charlie, you remember when I worked in Hollywood, their main bread and butter was designing movie posters, and they have a collection of artists that do amazing work, and they draw the different actors in different poses and everything, and then just to sell the idea of the poster.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's cheaper for the company to get a gang of illustrators to draw all these posters and do like realistic renderings of the actors in the poster, right? Than it is to get the actor to come in and do a bunch of pictures and
really
photography and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I mean, at one point, one of my dirty secrets was at one point I was dressed up like 50 Cent, and they were going to superimpose his face on my body.
Nice. Yeah, so check that out. Paul Braddock, BRADDOCK.
Paul-Braddock.com. Hey,
Look
Nate,
at the
did
store.
you bring a little something for us to
Yeah,
take
I
a
got a
peek at?
couple. What do you want? Comics or
Whatever you want.
all right?
You
This
can
one
do whatever
isn't
you like.
design-wise.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest, craziest thing, but just the craft impressed me on this one. I don't know how screen share.
On your left. On your
All right.
left, there's
It's a little
some
green.
icons.
Oh, I see it.
The
There
little
you go.
green one, yeah.
Okay, let's do this one. Oh, that's really easy. Look at that, Google.
Bam.
Oh, bam.
All right, so this
Iron
dude,
Man.
these are paper sculptures that are like 3 to 4 feet tall.
Shut
Really?
Fully articulated paper sculptures. This guy didn't upload great photos, but you can kind of get the sense based on the size of it behind it. Look at it, it's got gold paper right there for the
Goodness.
Power Glove, whatever it is. I forgot what it's called.
That sound good.
Yeah, it's like fully posable. Like, I don't know how much did he say these are? 21-inch tall paper figures. And you see the Iron Man. He's got the helmet that comes off.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the gold paper.
I like the style. Like he made these in. Like
Yeah,
if this is drawn, this would be a cool style.
yeah.
that'd
It
be
like the facially, it reminds me of like California raisins or something.
yeah. Yes. It's
Yeah.
squishy. They're like they're being pushed in slowly. Like, look at
But it's like, it's so lumpy, but it's all paper, and so it's like 1,000 little sheets. Anyway, his name is Willie Cox. I don't think he has a website or anything. I just found him randomly on this like Facebook forum. We all blew our loads when we saw. They're like, dude, what are you doing? Why are these only $400? Because as he says, it takes 180 hours to make one. So at that rate, he's making like 10 cents an hour to sell these things. But
Oh my god.
I like Black Panther. It's awesome.
So if he takes this and mails it, since it's made out of paper, is it just like regular postage?
I guess so. I mean, I don't know how many pieces.
Carlos asked the riveting questions we need them.
Yeah, I didn't ask this guy enough questions. I was just like, dude, raise your prices, and that was.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's all I can say. So Willie Cox, probably the most generic way to spell that. COX. I haven't been able to find. Like, I tried googling him after this, but I think he's like really.
He's hiding. He's off the grid, man.
Yeah, he's like off the grid, really hobbyist guy. But I just thought those were the coolest.
There's a bunch of environmentalists yelling at him for using paper.
It's recycled.
It better be recycled paper.
Yeah. No, it's going to be like the weird brown color. Yeah, everything would be like a tone darker. It'd be off. Tony Stark would look like purple or something. Some weird road would be like
it's like,
brown.
well, that dye, it technically kills sparrows. So
Yeah, like
Iron Man's going to be brown. He's going to be craft brown.
Spider-Man is like red and black, or instead of red and blue. Black Panther is just really
And
dark.
It's like indigo is a scarce resource.
Yeah.
How about recycled toilet paper?
God, toilet paper. Tissue paper man.
It gets wet and it just starts to just
Or no, like, yeah, do they
turn to like paper mache.
have, like someone who takes it out and like washes it off and puts it on the dryer?
Lays it
Actually-
on thick and layers, like it'd be like paper mache.
Yeah, well, actually, one of my art teachers at SVA, what's his name? Is Luca Buvoli. One of the things he would do, he kind of did like fine art version of hip superheroes,
Right.
but he'd do like it'd be like wire hangers and like garbage bags and make Superman out of that. But it would, it's like it's like plastic bags that so they're actually deteriorating over time. Kind of thing. So it's like it's like toilet paper, but in slow motion. I
Oh,
wonder if I can pull up his stuff. Let's see, but yeah, his whole thing was like he grew up, like Sicily or something like that, and he only got like one comic book a year, but he like read it 1,000 times. So he had like this fascination with superheroes, and he didn't have like, you didn't see the movies or TV or anything. He was just kind of like getting the comic books.
Right.
yeah.
So he always had this like secondhand fascination when they finally moved to the States. And oh yeah, let me screen share this one.
Yeah. Let's see.
Has a real thick mustache and it says bippity boppity all the time.
He's got too much stuff. But
Uh-oh. I don't see it.
I don't see it. This is a cool one. Let me screen share. Bippity boppity.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is like a car in motion kind of thing. But he also has, let's see if I can find some superheroes.
That's pretty sick.
Like
Yeah,
shows
so
off
but
a
he-
little bit.
Yeah, so he does all these things now. Well, like, oh yeah, here's like a
That's
flying guy.
cool.
So this is like a pencil drawing that I turned to 3D with wire and like plastic and things like that.
That's cool.
I'm trying to think. Superhero.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta type in Superman.
That's cool.
So this one is like that's Superman.
That's crazy.
But it's like Superman in motion and
Yeah.
blurred and all that stuff.
Right.
There are better examples, but I don't know. Maybe it's been 10 years since I saw this. Anyway, interesting stuff. That just reminded me of it.
Good picks.
Luca Buvoli.
Yeah.
Luca.
Yeah.
Buvoli is Buvoli.
Yeah, and he's a very, very insightful guy and done quite a few art talks that, I don't know, like he'll just think about like every detail of everything and be like, whoa, I did not know those things were connected, kind of dude. Wow. But yeah.
What? Hey, Chuck, his website is done in Flash.
Shut up. Are you serious?
Yeah, LucaBuvoli.com.
Oh, I'm sure he has not to say that.
Flash is not dead, son. Moo-hoo-hoo-ha.
See if he'll even load mine. Oh, Adobe Flash Player. Oh wow, it's the same one you had 10 years ago. Like I don't think it's changed.
Flash is not dead. It's just never been changed.
You've never been updated.
If it's broke, don't fix it.
Huh.
Oh, here's an HTML
Click
file.
here to download the player.
Awesome.
Oh, man. Adobe
Cutting
did
edge.
announce a new Flash player. I'm like,
What?
really?
Really?
You're
Like,
doing
why?
why? You brushed under the rug or something.
Like, why?
I don't know.
Like new animate?
They just like messing with my emotions.
Yeah, that's like not right.
They're
It's just mean.
like playing with my emotions. I was
Stop
like,
poking
oh,
the
it's
bear."
coming, making a comeback. Yo, when Flash comes back, dude, I'm gonna be a monster again.
We all over it. That new action scripting 4.0.
Who was it? I was talking to someone that they're trying to out technology me, which
Oh no.
I don't care. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I've done some really fun things in my life when it comes to that stuff, but I don't care. And she was like, "Yeah, so Action Script 4," and I heard the record scratch. I'm like,
Shut up.
"You're doing so well."
Yeah. Yes. Like, come on.
So well, stop it.
You're like, really? Really?
Yeah. I was like, don't say that. Anyway, for now, ladies and gentlemen, that's Nate Bear. Nate, for real, it's really nice to meet you. I've been following your work for a long time, and I said this before we got on the show. It's really cool when you look at someone's work and you really do appreciate everything that they're doing. And I watch your little Instagram stories and stuff like that. And you have some really funny things that you do. And then for you to be so cool, and there's so many times where I'm like, hey, I really like your work. And someone's like, yeah, I'm really busy right now. And then you see them like not being busy on social media. So when you're like, yeah, totally, I'm in. Actually, Charlie, Nate was harassing me during a show once. He was sending me Facebook messages, and I'm like,
oh, really?
I was like, what the heck?
Who is this?
Yeah,
I was like, if you're going to be harassing me, you might as well come on the show.
Well, I didn't know you were doing that. I don't know. I think you just add me on Facebook, and I was just like, oh, good, I can send you GIFs now, or GIFs.
Yeah, it was funny. It was awesome. I did not mind it at all.
Oh, that's
But anyway, thank you for being so cool and for coming on the show.
Oh, no problem.
It's much appreciated. But if people are looking for you, your work, and how to buy your stuff, where can they find you?
I can do all of that at natebearart.com. And if you don't want stuff, but you still want to give me money, I've got Patreon.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, patreon.com/natebear. It's still a slow build, but I don't know if anyone else likes it.
Cool, awesome. Thanks again for being on the show.
Thank you,
Chuck,
sir.
you got your little social media stuff out there, don't you?
Yeah. So if you're looking for me, you can find me at my website, which is cargocollective.com/Charlie B. Williams. On social media, Twitter, CBW3. You can find me there. Usually Carlos is at me at some point here where Jack to see if I'm actually checking Twitter. You can find me on Instagram, which is Charlie BW3, and then Facebook page. I have a Facebook artist page, Charlie BW3. Go there. Usually you can find the latest show, and I'm posting things every once in a while. My little things I post on Facebook. But those are the places you can find me. Check it out. Get it in your life. Really?
Yeah.
That's what you give me.
And we usually have Jack Kasperzak, but he's homesick right now.
Okay. In that case, I'll do my Instagram. I forgot about it. Instagram. It's Bear Brains.
Instagram.com/BearBrains. That's right.
And Twitter, Nate Bear, and Facebook, Nate Bear Art, because people keep taking
there it is.
Beautiful. Jack is Sketchbook Jack pretty much everywhere. And I am Carlos Gomez. You can find me at carlosrgomez.com, or if you're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, or Behance, just do a search for Coconut Justice. This is the Sketch Zone podcast. You can find us at sketch.zone. If you go there, you will find all of our episodes there. And
There's a lot
while
of
you're
them.
there, if you have an idea, yeah, this was number 83.
Almost there.
If you have an idea for a guest, either reach out to us or you can go to sketch.zone/guest, fill out the little form that we have there. Nate is showing one of his pins, his bear pin.
Like it.
It's like 3:00 in the morning out there. We kept him up super late. Let's see. If you're on Twitter, you can find us at SketchZone. You can go to facebook.com/thesketchzone. You can go to youtube.com/SketchZone podcast. You can find us on Stitcher, SoundCloud, and subscribe to us on iTunes. Look at this kid. He's a hot mess. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to like, rate, and review, and share with your friends. Let them know. Friends like, hang on. We have a new friend tonight. Doc Reed yes. I am Ridicus.
What?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
He's one of our new friends.
Hi, Doc.
What up, Doc?
What up, Doc?
That's
What up? Oh.
Get it?
I believe that's it. Have I said everything? Yes, I have. Remember, we have Dave Atsy's book.
Next
Tag
week.
all of us.
Tag
Dave
it.
Atsy, Sketch Zone, Coconut Jack. Get our attention.
Tag
And,
Jack. Tell him feel better.
Yeah, let Jack know that you're in his heart, or he's in your heart.
Let him know he has a heart.
Let Jack know you're the reason why he's sick.
Let Jack know that you are not sick and he is.
Let them
And
know it's
LOL
time.
him.
I've invaded your heart. I'm in here. Hello.
So that's it, folks. We gotta let Nate get some sleep. Everyone have a good week.
See you guys.